Welcome back to Psalms. Today we are looking at Psalm 62 and going to think about the self. How do I relate to reality or to the circumstances that I'm facing? Here's a psalm that begins like this: For God alone my soul waits in silence. From him comes my salvation. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I shall not be greatly shaken. So notice the repetition of the my here. My soul, my salvation, my rock, my salvation, my fortress. I shall not be greatly shaken. There's a kind of a quiet, personal, individual dynamic to Psalm 62. He switches at verse 3 and following to speak of others, enemies attacking. How long will all of you attack a man to batter him like a leaning wall, a tottering fence? And on he goes. But then we get back to the my's and the I's again in verse 5. For God alone, O my soul, wait in silence, for my hope is from him. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress, I shall not be shaken. On God rests my salvation and my glory, my mighty rock, my refuge is God. It's similar terms, isn't it? Similar wording. Okay, my soul, waiting in silence, my hope, my rock, my salvation, my fortress, I shall not be shaken. My salvation, my glory, my mighty rock, my refuge. So a whole load of my's, but there's a difference here. Notice this little letter O at the top here. O my soul. Now he's not just stating where he's at and how he feels. Remember at the start, my soul waits in silence, my rock, my salvation. Now he's speaking to himself. For God alone, O my soul, wait in silence. For my hope is from him. He is my only rock and my salvation. Here the psalm writer is preaching to himself. We tend to be wary of self stuff, right? Self-focused, self-concerned, self-obsessed, self-protective, self-loving, all negative terms. But preaching to self can be highly healthy. Exactly what we need to do. Here the psalm writer is facing difficult circumstances. He's recognizing the problem and he's reminding himself of what he knows to be true. Oh, my soul, wait in silence for God. Hope is from him. He's the rock, the salvation, the fortress. I will not be shaken. On God rests my salvation and my glory. My mighty rock, my refuge is God. And with all of that truth established, then he can speak to others. Trust in him at all times, O people. Pour out your heart before him. God is a refuge for us. I wonder if maybe we need to learn a lesson from the Psalms, and maybe this psalm is a good one. That there are times where, as we sit in silence, facing difficult challenges, difficult circumstances, could be on a personal level, global, national, international level, whatever, when we're facing difficulties, maybe we need to be preaching to ourselves, reminding ourselves of what is true, reminding ourselves of what is true about God, because that's where we're going to find the hope that we need, and then we can offer that hope to others as well. Read through the rest of Psalm 62, and I think you'll probably find plenty of good stuff in there. Maybe even a steadfast love reference. You look for it. Remind yourself of it. And then, by all means, share highlights with others. Encourage others too. But let's learn the lesson here that we've kind of flagged in this psalm. Sometimes before we share highlights with others, we need to share highlights with ourselves. Write yourself a note. Send yourself a text message. Send yourself an email. Remind yourself. Preach to your own soul the truth about God. And then share with others too.